Hello, my name is Dr. Paul Cottrell, and I'm recording this on April 19th, 2026 at approximately 10:15 a.m. on Sunday. This is before the markets open up in Asia. On Monday, we're going to have a understanding of what's going to be going on in the energy markets based on the new developments in the Middle East. But before we go over the different charts and how it may affect the markets, through the week trading commencing on Monday. Let's go over some of the aspects to my website. Please go to my website, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and you can see a bunch of archives of my podcast in audio format under broadcast radio. You can also see the live streams during my week. And I have also periodically generated news that is published on broadcast paper. I also have course material on pulmonology and immunology. You get lots of PDFs, lots of videos for only $25. And I also have ebooks on finance, genomics, artificial intelligence, endocrinology, and great supplements. But before we talk about the supplements, on the website, on the homepage, you can donate through Stripe, PayPal, or buy me a coffee if you would like to help support the work that I do. All these videos that I do throughout the week are for free. So please help support the work. You can also watch my work on YouTube, Brighteon, Bitchute, and Rumble, TikTok, X, GETTR, Substack, Patreon. So if you would like to be a paid member to my Patreon channel and help support the work that I do, because all the work that I do is for free, please help support in being a paid member to my Patreon channel or my Substack channel. Now, the supplements that I offer on this website are really comprehensive. And if you follow my advice, you're going to be able to slow down the aging process and improve your health and wellness. I have structural nano silver toothpaste. This is a very high quality toothpaste that will whiten your teeth, freshen your breath, neutralize, and help the health of your gums. Max 35 and Cleanse are liquids that you would take a teaspoon a day every day, swish in your mouth, gargle about 20 seconds or so, and then swallow. This will help the health of your oral cavity and your oral pharynx and boost up your innate immune system. The structural nano silver gels, you can get it in the tube form or in the quick dispenser form for Renew Silver Gel. You use them the same way. You can put it on a cut or abrasion or a minor burn. It'll help to heal it quicker. You can use it as a daily skincare. And if you're not feeling well or someone around you is not feeling well during the cold season, put it on your hands, around your mouth, around your nose, around your ears, lightly coat your nostrils. It'll stay active for 5.5 hours. I also have structural nano silver soaps in lemongrass and in peppermint in stock. Very high quality soaps that help to improve the health of your skin and help to neutralize because it has structural nano silver. And I have drops and lozenges. You can get the drops in honey and lemon, cherry flavor, and the lozenges in manuka honey and orange splash with vitamin C. These are very high quality, perfect for the allergy seasons or the cold season. I have probiotics. This probiotic on the screen here is a veggie cap version. And with a good probiotic, you're going to improve your immune system at the gut level, improve your brain function, improve your skin health, your metabolism. So it's really important to take every day. And the multivitamin. This multivitamin is easy to digest, and it has the multivitamins that you need to start the foundation to slow down the aging process and to get healthy. It has vitamin A, C, D3, E, B1, B2, B3, B6, folate, B12, biotin, and many others that will help to improve your health. Now, C60. C60 you can get in a 2 ounce, a 4 ounce, or an 8 ounce configuration. It is cheaper per ounce to get the higher ounce configuration. You can get it in extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and MCT coconut oil. C60 is a molecule that needs to be suspended in an oil for proper absorption. Take a teaspoon a day every day, preferably on an empty stomach in the morning, and this will help to soak up free radicals, reduce stress, reduce inflammation in the cells. And when you improve your mitochondria by reducing the stress and soaking up the free radicals, you'll have more energy. So your tissues will perform better, your organ systems will perform better, and you will notice over time that your immune system, your endocrine system, your cardiovascular health, even brain function all improve. So take the C60 every day, teaspoon a day. Very important. And C60 also helps with the basal layer, so your skin improves. Vitamin D3 helps to build denser bone. It also is a gene expression cofactor to get rid the gene expression cofactor for D3 helps to express the genes that you need in your cell, so your cell will perform properly. But vitamin D3 also helps to get rid of cells that need to go into apoptosis because they're infected. Vitamin C and magnesium, this will help with your skin, your brain function, and your immune system. Omega-3 improves your cardiovascular health. Ashwagandha root helps to boost up your immune system and brings down inflammation. Goodnight formula has tryptophan, melatonin, and GABA, and passion flower to help you to get into 3 to 5 cycles of REM sleep and deep sleep. So you're consolidating your memory, detoxifying your central nervous system, and you're going to be well rested. With good sleep, you're improving brain function and you're slowing down the aging process. This probiotic is a powder probiotic that you get the same benefits as the VeggieCap version. The resveratrol. Resveratrol will help with youthful gene expression, help to get rid of cells that are in senescence, and also soak up free radicals and improve the health of your mitochondria so you have more energy. Vitamin B complex is super important to improve the health of your mitochondria. You'll have more energy, you'll improve your cellular metabolism, and protect your neurons through B12. Turmeric will bring down inflammation, soak up free radicals. That's really important for your immune system and your cardiovascular system and your brain function. Magnesium and zinc boosts up the immune system and brain function. Magnesium is very important for the efficacy of vitamin D3. Lignans will soak up free radicals and bring down inflammation, boost up your endocrine system and immune system, and help with your cardiovascular system. Collagen, this is a great product that you should be taking every day to help with your skin, your nails, your hair, your musculature, your bone density. Super important to take every day. This is the typical amino acid profile shown on the screen. This will also help with getting your joint health improved. Now, digestive enzyme complex will help to digest carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids and reduce the load on your pancreas. Super important, especially if you're 40 years of age or older. All of our pancreases are not functioning as well as they used to when we were younger. Clarity factor, very important neurostack that will help to get rid of brain fog. You'll be able to concentrate on tasks and over time improve your memory and cognition. Olive leaf extract, super important for immune system and for your cardiovascular system. It brings down inflammation and helps you to control your lipid profile. Zeolite will remove heavy metals, toxins, and chemicals from your body. Take 3 small drops underneath your tongue, drink filtered water. And when you do this regularly, what will happen is that you're going to notice that your endocrine system, your immune system will improve, and your other bodily systems will improve. Myotrol will help to build muscle. It has polyphenols, flavonoids, and lignans to help with the gene expression to build muscle and to maintain muscle. When we get older, we start to atrophy. Myotrol will help to reduce that atrophy, and it's really important to do resistance training to build that muscle, especially if you're 40 years of age or older, male or female. Boomer Boost is a great supplement to take every day to help to improve your musculature, your brain function, your cardiovascular system, and rev up your cellular metabolism. You'll have steady burn of energy throughout the whole day with no spiking. You'll also notice that your immune system and your endocrine system is improving. It's a great way to slow down the aging process and get healthy. Gladiator barley and heirloom barley, they work by detoxifying your central. They work by detoxifying your body, soaking up free radicals and bringing down the the inflammation. Now, when you're doing this regularly, what will happen is that your immune system will improve, your endocrine system will improve, but also your brain function and your joint health because you're reducing inflammation. And when you have too much inflammation regularly, you can degrade your joints, you can degrade your brain function. So it's really important to keep inflammation down and soak up those free radicals. Gladiator barley has an added benefit by building up strength. Both of them stack really well with Boomer Boost. Gladiator barley also stacks really well with Myotrol. Collagen is a great supplement to rebuild your joints. What it'll do is it'll inhibit MMP3 and MMP13 to reduce joint erosion. And it will also block EP4, which reduces inflammation and pain and discomfort. Colla Collagen will also help to use the collagen 2 type and glucosamine to build up the cartilage, and also help to use acan and chondroitin to help to cushion the joint. So that's really important. And it helps to manage the pain channel gatekeeper NAV 1.7. So it'll help to reduce pain. It's a great supplement to take to help to improve your joint health. Perfect for arthritis and for sports injuries. Super strong relief will help to relieve headaches, tension headaches, bruises, pulled muscles, sprains, and arthritic pain. You apply it topically and it works within about 90 seconds or so. And I also have anti-aging boxes and longevity boxes. I'm not going to go through them all, but they are curated boxes that I've done to lower the price points of some of the items I have on my store to help you to go on this longevity journey and improve your health. So take a look at the different anti-aging boxes and longevity boxes that I have. So with that, please help support the work that I do by getting the great products that I have on my store. But you can also support by donating through Stripe, PayPal, or Buy Me a Coffee. All right, with that said, we are going to go over the charts. Okay, so this chart that's on the screen here is the ETF for the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 has really been climbing since good news coming out of the Middle East of the ceasefire. Unfortunately, what has happened yesterday was there was some firing of a tanker by the Iranians. And the Iranians are saying the ceasefire is no longer valid because the United States is still doing the blockade against Iranian ships coming and going into the strait. And it's very tenuous what the ceasefire status is. Supposedly, Trump gave a warning this morning that either make a deal or he's going to blow up the energy plants and the bridges. Now, he stated that there's going to be some sort of discussions to take place between the United States and Iran and Pakistan between Tuesday and Wednesday. So I suspect because of this news that it's going to be negative for the equity market and oil will continue to go up. So this chart here is showing that, we've been near we're at an all-time high at 712. So that equates to about 7,120 for the S&P 500 because this is SPY, the ETF. So with that in mind, I suspect that Monday we're going to probably have equities that go down, but not by a lot. There's a lot of momentum wanting to just be bullish in equities. I still have a year-end target of 7,400 to 7,800. So the near term support level for the S&P 500 or for SPY, I should say, is 680. All right. That's approximately where that whole gap up started. It's just below 680. So we'll just round it up to about 680 is going to be a support level. Now, due to the 23% retracement for the fib sequence, we're looking at approximately 657. So you can round it to about 660 as a major support level. So near-term support level, 680, and a very strong support level at 660. Now, in terms of resistance levels, we're going to be looking at the 720 mark will be a resistance level. Okay, now oil. This is the futures. And I was talking last week about maybe this buildup of a head and shoulder. So this is considered the head, and this is the shoulder. All right. Now, normally when a head and shoulder happens, where the head is higher in price, you can assume that it's actually going to go down and go down by the amount of the top of the head down to where the shoulder is. So now there is such a thing as a reverse head and shoulder, where if you had the same thing but inverted, then it would be a sign of a rally. So the question was, is it going to break or not? Now, this head and shoulder looks like it's about to fail. All right. We need one more candle to really determine it. But if it stopped at about 87 on Friday, then we probably were seeing the development of a head and shoulder pattern. But because of the big sell-off that we had, because we had a big sell-off on Friday, thinking, well, the strait's going to be open, everything's going to be, great. And then all of a sudden that seemed to kind of fall apart later in the day and on Saturday. So it seems to me that this is going to bounce up again. Now the question is what will oil do on Monday? I suspect oil, since it's trading at 84, I suspect that oil is going to break the 87 barrier and start trading in the low 90s. If that takes place and it starts to creep back up and it starts to develop the other side, the right side head and shoulder, right? If it creates that other shoulder, then we're looking like we're going to have a big sell off in the near future. But we need to see, you can see that we may be almost like creating a shoulder at the bottom of the shoulder right here, right? But it's tipped instead of straight. It would have been perfect if it stopped at 87 and it seemed to break that pattern. But I suspect that because of what's happening in the Middle East, we may be developing a shoulder here. Now, to develop the shoulder, assuming this is bottoming out, that right here, 84 is this point here for the other side of the shoulder, then we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 trading days before it starts to precipitously drop. All right. This may be the bottoming of the shoulder. If it continues to go down, the head and shoulder pattern has broken and it's not really a head and shoulder. But if it starts to go up and starts to peter up, then we may be developing this shoulder pattern. Now, I think what's going to happen tomorrow is that it's going to break 87 and it's going to be trading the 90s, maybe as much as 95. Now, you have to remember that a 90, um, we have about a 95 re at the 38% retracement. So we may be seeing it breaking 87 and trying to get to the 95. Now, the top of the shoulder here was around the 100 range. All right. And that lasted for approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 days or so. All right. So I suspect that we may actually see a large candle that's similar to this, but it's not gonna hit 100. It's probably gonna be at 95. If that large candle isn't created and then doesn't, kind of peter off and stay at the 90, 95, maybe even hit the 100 range, then we don't have the extra shoulder. So in the news, because of the ceasefire being very tenuous, we're probably going to have a large candle tomorrow, and that we may see a 5, maybe even a $10, potentially, probably $8 increase in oil on Monday. And so if that is the case, and then we're strung along on Tuesday and Wednesday that there may be a peace agreement, you can see that it'll stay elevated, but kind of pause and trade sideways, just like this shoulder. And then some sort of peace agreement happens, and then it falls back down. But if Trump ends up hitting Iran on Wednesday, because he gave him a deadline to make a deal on Wednesday, if that fails and Trump does hit the infrastructure of Iran, then we're looking at probably further increases in oil. So it's going to be very interesting in the next 3 days, 4 days to see what happens. If it continues to fall, independent of the ceasefire, which I highly doubt, then the head and shoulder pattern broke. If it goes up and starts to sideways trade, most likely we're seeing the development of a head and shoulder here. But this candle right here is just right on the edge of invalidating the head and shoulder pattern. So we don't know for sure yet. So the trading range, so the near term resistance level is 87, and it'll probably break because of the news that's coming out of the Middle East pretty easily. And the next resistance level is going to be about 95. I suspect that it will trade just below that on Monday. Now, if oil seems to precipitously drop further, which I doubt on Monday, the support level will be at 79, 62. Okay. Natural gas. Natural gas has been trending down for many trading sessions, but started ticking back up the last 2 trading sessions. It's trading at 2.675. I suspect that because of the news that's coming out in the Middle East, that we may actually see a 2.7, more like 2.750. Now, with natural gas, the resistance level will be at 2.5. And then so we have a support level, I should have said. 2.5 for support level, and we'll probably be at the up in terms of resistance level around 2.75, maybe 2.8. Now, this is the ETF for the belly of the curve. The belly of the curve is 7 to 10 year treasuries. This is longing, 3 times leverage. And treasury bonds have been going up. All right. So we can see that, the prices have been going up, going all the way since, for most of the month, most of the month. Um, so we'll see what's happening with the treasuries. Now, here's a better look at the treasury market. We have we have the 30-year, the 10-year, the federal funds rate, and we have the spread. Now, this spread has kind of been going sideways. Now, why has it been going sideways? Well, it's been going sideways somewhat because the change in the 30-year versus the 10-year has been roughly kind of balanced out. So that one hasn't really dropped more than the other in terms of the actual yield. All right. Now, the 10-year is trading at 4.32 and the 30-year is trading at 4.93. Federal funds rate is still flat, hasn't changed. I don't think there's any um, expectation that the Federal Reserve is going to reduce rates anytime soon because of the potential inflationary pressure of oil. Job market is somewhat stable at 4.3% unemployment. CPI and PPI have come in where its inflation is somewhat it's stable, but CPI did come slightly hotter than expected, but just a little bit. In terms of consumer confidence through University of Michigan data, that is showing that inflation expectations will be 4.7%, where I believe it was 3.7% or 3.9% was the expectation. So expectations from the consumer for inflation is much higher than what the data seems to suggest. So that's what's going on in the bond market. So basically, if the equity market is going down, typically the bond market prices go up and the yields go down. But the equity market is going to be going down primarily because of the higher energy, and higher energy could be inflationary. So therefore, the bonds will go down and the yields continually to stay a little bit elevated. So I suspect that the 10-year will stay at approximately 4.3, maybe even creep up a little bit um, for Monday. Now, the VIX is a measure of the VIX is a measure of volatility with the S&P 500. It closed on Friday at 17, which is really low. Anything below 19 is really good. The closer you get to 15, things are really stable and things are kind of humming along. So 17 is a really good number, especially with what's going on in the Middle East. But because of this news where the ceasefire is probably going to fail and Trump is going to be hitting Iran supposedly, I suspect that we're going to spike again and we are going to be above 20 and probably be trading at around 23 for VIX. So I suspect on Monday we're going to have a higher VIX. Now, what's interesting here is that the whole year we've been building up stress in VIX, up, 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 up. It'd come back down a little bit and then come up and then come back down a little bit and then get, but there was this trend of going up. And then all of a sudden that news about uh, the strait opening up and then radically coming down, and then and then there's this ceasefire agreement talks that seem to have petered out. So I suspect that it's going to spike back up. So the probability of it getting back to, getting to that maybe 45 range, which is taking a line drawn from here to here and then extrapolating it out, it'd come to about 45, close, roughly. And the probability of that happening is diminishing because of this break here. But I do suspect that VIX on Monday or Tuesday is going to be trading in the mid 20s. Now, Boyle is a ETF for natural gas. Now, just to give you a reminder here, natural gas is trading at 2.675. It wants to drift down. We're going into the summer season. Natural gas is normally cheaper in the summer. And Boyle is an ETF longing natural gas. So right now it's trading at 13.57, and I suspect that it's going to, on Monday, natural gas probably will start trading at 3.7. I suspect that Boyle will trade higher, probably get closer to 15. So I suspect that the resistance level is 15 and you have a support level at about 12 or so right now. So it's going to be probably trading in a trading range there. Now, there's going to be a natural momentum of natural gas to trade down because of the seasonality of natural gas. So it's not going to stay, if it does go up on Monday, it's probably going to come back down pretty quick. So if it does go up, then buying cold, spelled with a K, is probably better because natural gas will then fall again. So I suspect that Boyle will probably go up on Monday, maybe to 14, maybe up to 15, and then drift back down to 13 or 12 and a half. The low point is 12.9, but I think that it's going to want to drift to closer to 10 than to 15. Okay. With that, that's the markets that we've been talking about for this session. Just, keep in mind that the market does want to go up, and it goes up pretty rapidly with any good news that comes out in the Middle East. But if if the ceasefire seems to be failing and Trump ends up hitting Iran and the Strait of Hormuz flow of tankers starts to be impeded, then we're going to start seeing somewhat of a sell-off in the equity market. So beware, but there's a natural trend of want to drift upward for equities, and oil wants to go down. Natural gas wants to go down. So anything that is good news will really rally the markets, and anything that's bad news will bring the markets down, but I don't think sharply because of this momentum of wanting to go higher for equities. So with that said, please go to my store, the-studio-reykjavik.com, and get the great products that I offer. And help support the work that I do. You can donate through Stripe, PayPal, or buy me a coffee on my website. You can also be a paid member to my Patreon channel or my Substack channel. All the links are in the description. Please share the links and ask your social media to follow me. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you've learned something, and then pay attention to the live streams that I do this week because we'll be covering the breaking news. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.